Why Media Group? The fastest growing media group in North America.
Hello and welcome to Y Media Newsroom. I'm Ramona Singh, and it's always so great to spend this time with you. For our top stories, we're going to cover what's taking place in Iran as Ayatollah Khamenei is being sent through the streets of Tehran with tens of thousands of mourners. We're going to bring you the images and cover all that in detail. We're also going to cover what is happening in Canada when it comes to this CUSMA agreement that was not renewed on July 1st in terms of extended for another 16 years. It's still in effect. We're going to give you the latest details of what Ottawa is up to. And when it comes to the Alberta Stampede, you want to know the latest news on what the Liberals are doing there and what the rumor has it in terms of potentially maybe an election around the corner. That's all to be seen. And we have a lot of updates on AI news. So, on our top story, I want to cover what's taking place in Tehran as there's massive crowds filling the streets of Tehran for the funeral procession of Ayatollah Khamenei. This is the late Khamenei that was assassinated on February 28th. Essentially, we're going to bring you the images and the videos of tens of thousands of people. It's just covered, as you can see. There you go. You can go full screen so we see this. This is Ali Khamenei's funeral procession. His son is now the Ayatollah now, Moshtaba Khamenei. He's nowhere to be seen here, but here you have mourners who are now on the streets of Tehran, essentially mourning the death of the late Ayatollah. And essentially, this is a ceremony that has become both what we're seeing as a national mourning event and also what could be also a political show during these tough negotiations with the United States. As you see, there are a lot of images that also have, slogans against President Trump, as well as the Israeli Prime Minister. You have, Iran is holding one of the most politically charged funerals in modern history. And this funeral has been delayed, as you can imagine, for more than 3 months since the assassination of Ayatollah. Essentially, what you would do is when someone passes, you would bury them as soon as possible. So then this prolonged period of what took place as an escalation of war between the three countries, Iran, United States, and Israel. And now you have, after it was declared, after the MOU was signed on June 17th by President Trump and the Iranian president, then it was the mourning period has been, decided, and that there would be no escalations or retaliations or any rising of conflict between the nations during these processions. As you can see, the streets are filled with tens of thousands of people. That's going to be about 10 million people who pass through these processions, as you can see. And these are the images. It's from one end to another, as you can see that. So now you have, Ali Khamenei, Ayatollah, was killed earlier this year in the airstrikes that were linked to the U.S.-Israel war that essentially started the war. Now his funeral has been delayed because of that time period. And this morning, this procession is supposed to go on for about a week. And it's what this is not just, as you're seeing, a farewell to the late Ayatollah, but a big message from Iran. As you can see, prior to the war, there was a lot of protests. It looked like it was a civil war in Iran. And now you can see that this wartime conflict it appears, has united the people of Iran, and not to mention how Iranians overseas feel. But here you have those images taking place right now. That's going on, and the funeral was earlier today in Tehran. So now there's reports that protesters burned the U.S. and British flags, while some banners accused Washington of killing the leader. And so this is a fragile moment in this conflict that's going on. But here you have a massive showing for the late Ayatollah. Now, the current Ayatollah, Moshtaba Khamenei, was not present, even though three of his other brothers the son of the late Ali Khamenei, were present at the procession. So there you can see what's taking place. And now, the key question remains whether this moment, there was some news on would there be retaliation strikes given that there's so many there. But it appears that it won't because this was decided ahead of time. And a lot of commentators said that if Israel were to do anything, it would already be in a situation where it wouldn't be looked so well on behalf. Things will go as planned and without any escalations that would take place. Now, the late Ayatollah's coffin is expected to travel to the religious site before burial in Mashhad, which is a city. And, it's going through many different areas. There's about tens of kilometers that it's going to pass through. And it's not just what appears to be just a funeral or a religious ceremony, but this is this is a 6-day event, and his coffin is going through a procession through some key places, stretching across 5 cities, and it's also going from Iran and Iraq, where it'll pass by millions of mourners and volunteers and security personnel and government agencies. Now, the objective, I would assume, by the regime would be to show stability, to show this level of unity with that many people on the streets and continuity and a lot of public support, which, changes the position of the regime, which was, it appeared, on a civil unrest and a regime change to surviving the war with the United States as well as Israel to what you're seeing now with this show of support. And this is there's also government banners. There's some other images that compare the late Ayatollah to Imam Hussein, which is a key figure in Shiite Islam. And so this is, very significant time that you're seeing take place in Iran and what this would mean, I guess, moving forward with Iran's position in the Middle East, with the negotiations coming up with the United States. And now this route that this funeral has been set up for, it's supposed to go through universities, downtown Tehran, and many different neighborhoods. And the goal was to connect what would be the message of unity in Iran, as well as what would be the projected leadership of this regime. Now, officials are saying they're expecting about 10 million people during these 6 days of procession. And that's a very significant number because when you compare it to other, figures in history, like Queen Elizabeth II, her funeral drew in about 250,000 people, and Pope Francis drew in about 400,000, so about, a little shy of 500,000 people. So if this is accurate in terms of the numbers that are being discussed, that's a very massive funeral procession. And the logistics are also enormous. The government has converted about 1,000 schools into accommodations, opened mosques, created smartphone apps to be able to track where the procession is going. There's going to be free buses, free taxis, food stations, medical clinics, about 67,000 Red Crescent workers, and 40,000 volunteers to be able to make this national event take place. And many other countries also send dignitaries to be present. Uh, Dignitaries are from Iraq, Pakistan, India, Yemen, Afghanistan, Nigeria, Senegal. Also noted for funeral events are also being held in Lebanon, Pakistan, Iraq, and Yemen. So, and that's the other thing. This was the supreme leader of Shiite Islam, so it was the head of a religion, and that's what you're seeing take place. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.